alarming new claims this morning about a Singapore Airlines flight hit by deadly turbulence. The 60 Minutes investigation questions whether the plane flew directly into a developing storm while other jets flew around it. For more, let's bring in Flight 321 passenger Keith Davies and former Senator and lawyer Nick Xenophon from Adelaide. Good to see you both. Now, Keith, I'll start with you. What happened on that flight left us all shocked. We last spoke to you when you were hospitalised following the flight. Your partner has been left paralysed. How are the pair of you doing?
Look, each day is a real challenge. Kerry is doing a heroic job, you know. She opens her eyes each day to a new reality and we're just determined to get to a new safe place.
Seeing your determination last night in that report by 60 Minutes was incredible. I mean, the investigation found the turbulence on that flight could have been avoided. What was it like hearing that after experiencing what you did?
It was sickening, absolutely sickening to think that that is our reality, that because of that miscalculation, this is the end result, which is life-changing for us both.
It just seems reckless, doesn't it? I mean, you put your faith in these airlines to do the right thing by their paying passengers, and then something like this
100%.
happens.
Yeah, you entrust your lives when you're flying through the sky at that altitude, at that speed. You would hope that they know what they're doing.
It's more than hope, isn't it? I mean, like you said, you trust your lives, and so many people, more people are taking to the skies these days. It just makes the journey so much more terrifying for all of us. Nick, let's bring you in. You've criticised Singapore Airlines for their compensation offer. I think they've offered passengers something like $75,000. 4 months on, has there been any change? Are they willing to open up the discussion there on that?
We haven't had any answers from Singapore Airlines. The fact that 5 aircraft at the same time were diverted around this apparent thunderstorm is just extraordinary. You'd think that Singapore Airlines would do the right thing, admit liability and get on with it. This just adds insult to injury that Kerry and Keith and so many others are still met with basically a denial of liability. Giving a paltry amount of settlement offers and interim payments is really quite insulting when under the Montreal Convention, the international law that governs this, they should be giving a lot more as a first payment. The issue here is that we need answers, and what 60 Minutes exposed last night was a real revelation. All those planes didn't divert for the whim of it. They diverted for a reason, and Singapore Airlines didn't. I
mean, that evidence sounds pretty damning. How have they not even entertained that?
Well, we're just not hearing from them. Kerry wrote a heartfelt letter to the CEO of Singapore Airlines just a few weeks ago. No response, just quite extraordinary, in total contrast to what they said immediately after the incident.
Keith, what would you say to Singapore Airlines in light of what has been discovered here, that all those other airlines managed to not only detect the thunderstorm but fly around it, take active precautions for the safety of their passengers, yet Singapore Airlines allegedly just completely ignored that?
Well, obviously we want an explanation, but beyond the explanation, it's unfathomable the way they have conducted themselves since. As Nick said, you know, ignoring Kerry's letter was quite extraordinary, you know, because we actually met the CEO in Kerry's ICU room, and that was pretty tough going during those days. So for him to turn up and have those conversations with us, and then to be rebutted like this is very distressing.
Yeah, it's distressing and it's heartbreaking, and you deserve more. Let's hope it comes. Thank you both so much for joining us, and our thoughts are always with you, Keith and Kerry. Thank you.
Gee, what a fight that is.
Well, hey there, Today fans. Sarah and...
What's my name again?
Oh my goodness, Carl.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel, though. Subscribe now for more news, special reports and amazing Aussie stories.
And Carl misbehaving,
Whoa,
of course.
That never happens.
Always happens.
What's she talking about?